Hello, everybody. My name is Jarrett Gold. I am the principal of 7-8. I have the privilege of being the principal of many of your great students, or great children. It's been an honor for me for my first year as principal. I've really enjoyed my time, and I want to thank you all for that. Tonight is a night of information. We had a great turnout. I apologize for the multiple emails, but hopefully you get a lot out of tonight. And you know, I want to start off by introducing Mr. Cardinal. And Mr. Cardinal, he's currently the associate principal at the high school. My last 4 years, I've had the honor of working with Mr. Cardinal, who has really done a great job with our counseling department. And I want to assure you, as a transition from middle school to high school, that you're in great hands, not only with Mr. Cardinal, but with our great counseling staff, who most of them I've had the privilege of working with also for the last couple years, being assistant principal at the high school. With that, you know, I think you all have to understand that transitions are hard. Going from 6th grade to 7th grade is tough. From going to 8th grade to 9th grade is tough. But what you'll find at the high school is you have a communicative environment around you. You have supportive people, and your children will be taken care of. Hopefully when you guys came in as 7th graders, or your children came in as 7th graders, they felt that. And I would hope when they go from 8th grade to 9th grade, they feel the same thing. And when they transition from 12th grade to whatever their endeavors are after that, that they feel prepared. And that's our goal, K-12 in La Cañada. So hopefully tonight you get a lot of information. Hopefully the end of the 8th grade year is a positive one for your children and for you, and that your transition to high school is wonderful. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome our associate principal, Mr. Cardinal.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim Cardinal, and I'm so pleased and excited that you're here tonight. We filled the house. We're going to hear a lot of information that may really kind of tax you to keep following it. I'm pleased to know that we have people up in the balcony and that we're going to be recording this event so that in the event you need to go back and look at it, it'll be available to you as a video on our website. Let's handle a couple of housekeeping issues right now, and I'm going to rely on the fact that you'll be able to keep this secret. Don't tell anyone. If you want to follow our presentation along right now, please have out your device. Go to lchsspartans.net, counseling, and you can follow along the presentation. The Wi-Fi password is LCUSD Wi-Fi. Open it up on your phone and you'll see it, LCUSD Wi-Fi, okay? All right. Firstly, as Dr. Gold suggested, we have an extraordinary counseling department that we have aligned and organized grades 7 through 12. Our 7-8 counselors I want to introduce, and followed immediately by our high school team. Ms. Brasha, Ms. Dahlbeck, would you be good enough to stand? 8th graders and parents, these are your amazing 7-8 counselors. Through the leadership of Superintendent Sinet, and generous donations and all the support that our community gives, we've been able to expand our high school counseling department now to have 7 full-time counselors working with about 50 students for each grade level to have a total caseload that we believe is the lowest in the state of California for comprehensive public high schools. That means, kids, raise your hands, please. Be good enough to raise your hands. I want you to please identify, when I call your name, your counselor. These folks over here are going to take really, really good care of you, okay? All right. First up is Miss Rachel Zoy. She works with last names A through CHA. Raise your hand if that's you. A through CHA. A through CHA. Miss Zoy, those are your charges. Miss Irene Yu works with students last names CHE through GA. Kids, raise your hands. Miss Melissa Kukta works with students with the last names of GE through KH. Raise your hands, kids. Raise your hands. There you go. High and proud. That's right. Good job in the back. Miss Susan Malgin, who would be one of my co-presenters tonight, works with students with the last names of KI through the letter L. K-I-L. Raise your hands right now, please. Raise your hands. All right. The two, the proud. I'm glad that you're here. If I missed you up in the balconies, my apologies. Mr. Greg Jackson works with students, last names M through PA. Please raise your hands. That's right, that's right. That's Mr. Jackson right there. Miss Kim Loxton, who some of you may remember from LCE 6th grade, works with students' last names PE through SM. Raise your hand, kids. Raise your hands. All right, Miss Loxton, your kids have come out in numbers, it looks like. And then finally, Miss Candy Basmajian works with students' last names SN through Z. Please raise your hand, kids. There you go. There you go. There you go. Nicely done. Okay, students, parents too, of course. A couple of big ideas, if you wouldn't mind. And I'm going to loop back to these at the end, okay? So there's no quiz. This is not welcome to high school. Here's a quiz. But I do want you to think about a couple of things. And I just would like to set the stage, hopefully with kind of two big ideas. Two big ideas. We called our presentation tonight High School and Beyond for a reason. You 8th graders and your parents are beginning a great journey. It's a fun one. It's one that's going to be filled with laughter. It's going to be filled with growth. From time to time, it may be filled with all of the other things that are not laughter. You're growing up. No one ever said that was easy. And you're going to try to do that through a couple of big things. You're going to take classes, kids and parents. Tonight, we want you to walk away with information about classes. We do, because it's one of the most important things of school. And as you're selecting those classes, please remember the and beyond. 8th graders, I know that this is a hard charge, but I believe your parents would agree that when you are selecting your classes for next year, you're also doing so with a little bit of an idea about what you think you'd like to take in your 10th, 11th, 12th grade, and beyond. It is appropriate, kids, and your folks can attest to this, that the process of going through high school is one of specialization. At the end of it, you should have some better idea about the things that you really enjoy and the things that you enjoy less. You should have fun, make friends, keep old ones, discover new ones. They'll be with you. They'll be with you beyond high school. You're doing academic planning tonight. You're thinking about the fun experiences of the social and emotional component of high school. That's a real thing. When Isa and David and Riley and Savannah come up and tell you about their experience through high school, they're going to tell you about classes, to be sure. But kids, I hope you're going to tell them about the fun that you had while you were here. And then finally, everyone, and I think that your parents are maybe more appropriately focused now because you're 8th graders, this is about deciding how locking you out of high school is going to provide you opportunities to reach out once we lose you, once you leave us, and go out into whatever that great adventure is of life, okay? So it's a pathway that you're going to find out about academics, about fun, social emotional experiences, and about what opportunities are there for you after high school. I also would very much like now, kids, if you stop listening to me because I was talking about pathways, come back right now. Come back right now, please. Would you think for a moment that in 4.5 years' time from now, I hope that whatever the selfie of the future will be, I would have gotten to know you by then. And 4.5 years from now, when you and your family are assembled on our football field for your high school graduation, because you've already applied to university, you've already figured out if you want to go to the military, you've already just had your journey, and now you're into the beyond part of high school, that you've thought about a couple of things. The first of which, look around right now, please. There's 300, I would estimate about 320 people here tonight. Maybe 80 to 100 of them are kids. As you go into high school, it may appear that you, in fact, are competing with the rest of the kids in this room. You are not. You never have been. It's made to seem that way. Because when we talk about your pathway through high school, what we're really talking about is you running your own race, hitting your own goals. If your best friend is going to take this class, you only take that class if it's right for your journey, your pathway, your beyond. Because this is also an experience about you as an individual. No longer part of a group, but you deciding what's right for you. You experiencing new things. Your friends don't want to be a cheerleader and you always wanted to do it? Do it. You want to go out for track and none of your friends run track? Do that too. You want to be a baseball player. You've never played baseball before. Well, I'm not sure that's going to work out for you, but go out. Go out, very much try. Just imagine if you didn't. In 4.5 years from now, while we're taking that picture on the day of your high school graduation, you might have said, I wish I would have. And I want to leave you before I call my esteemed colleague, Ms. Malgin, up with this idea. I don't want you to say, I wish I would have. I want you to say, I did. I was an individual. I found my path. I've thought deeply about the courses I've taken. I've made my relationships. I've had fun. And this has been a positive experience. Because let's remember, you had Ms. Brasha and Ms. Dahlbeck and Dr. Gold behind you, and they're with you for the next 6 months. And you've got this amazing team of counselors, Mr. McFeet, Ms. Hazlett, my colleague, the assistant principal, and myself as the associate principal. In addition to our extraordinary district staff, we're here as your team too. That's the beauty of working in La Cañada. That's why we come to work every day, because we want you to be successful. There's no quiz right now, kids, but I'm going to ask you in a little bit. I hope you get information about academics, social experience, and about the beyond. Ms. Malgin? I think we should probably also call some folks up because we assembled all these chairs. So as we're transitioning, students come up, our colleagues from University of Southern California and counseling, and Mr. Lindisi, a representative from summer school, and the great Clark Magnet High School. Come on up.
So Mr. Cartnell kind of said everything that I was hoping to say to you as well. So, but one of the seniors that's not here tonight, I asked, what would you say to a person that was about ready to start high school? And I love what he said. He said, I would tell them you are on the edge of something great. And La Cañada is a really amazing place. There are so many opportunities that your students are going to have, that you will have. You saw the examples of the choir and the band, and the performing arts and the fine arts is exponential, and they just do a top-notch job. But also our academics are top-notch, and I feel like a student can become anything that they want to after they leave La Cañada. And the opportunities are so great. It's a matter of making the choice and making that commitment to the choices that you have. One of the things that, as you start approaching your 9th grade, thinking about what classes you want to take, is the type of classes that are offered that are going to lead you to that path of where you want to be after high school. So whether that's a 4-year college, a 2-year college, an art school, the military, whatever it might be, like Mr. Cartnell said, the classes that you choose are going to be that pathway of where you will have the options to go after your 4 years. So when you're signing up for your 6 classes, all students must have 6 classes, you want to make sure that you are picking classes that are going to fit in our requirements for graduation. We're going to go over that in a minute, and our A to G requirements. And I'll explain that a little bit further. You're going to hear A to G throughout all 4 years. So we're going to have a little quiz on that. No, just kidding. And then also make sure that you are taking your harder classes and the classes that you know you will excel in. So like Mr. Cartnell said, just because my friend's taking honors bio doesn't mean that I love biology and I'm going to do well in that class. So again, it's selecting those classes that you will be successful in. And colleges want to see that you're going to be successful in those classes. There are 3 levels of classes that you will be choosing from. They are all college preparatory. So every person who takes these classes will have the opportunity to go to a four-year college. So we have college prep honors, and then, of course, our AP classes, advanced placement. When you're selecting classes, you always have to consider how much time each class is going to have for homework, for the rigor, as well as what you want to do outside of my academics. And how does those time constraints, how do they conflict, or how do they match up? So here's kind of an estimate. Now we know some kids can get homework done faster than this, and some kids maybe take double the time. So college prep typically is about 30 minutes of homework per class per night or per day. College prep honors goes up to about 60 minutes per class per day, and advanced placement expect about 90 minutes per class per day. Now, again, these are estimates. They are not hard facts. So our seniors can probably kind of give you a little bit more realistic time frame. So I'm a mother, and I know that I want my child to have sleep. So sleep and health is also extremely important. So that's why we want to make sure that you understand that you need to have a balanced schedule. Okay. So when we talk about graduation requirements, they're very different than what the requirements are to go to a four-year college. So these are the minimal requirements that you need to graduate with a high school diploma from La Cañada. So you have to have, at the end of your 4 years, 230 units. 4 of those 4 years are going to be from the English, 2 years from math, and one of those years, which is now going to be LC Math 1, not algebra. Social science, 3 years. Science, 2 years. 1 year of either fine art or a language other than English, the LOTE. You have to have 2 years of PE, health, and then an additional requirement of 90 additional electives. So that's where a lot of the choice comes in, is your elective pieces. So some classes you're going to choose, you have to take. You can't get around your 4 years of English. But if I want to take science for all 4 years, that's optional. So you're going to have some choices that you're going to need to make. When we talk about A to G, this is what we go by for our UC CSUs, Cal State schools. They follow this requirement for students to qualify for admission. For the A stands for the history science, which theirs is actually, you'll notice, is 2 years, but our high school graduation is 3 years. So, you know, once we follow our A to G plus our graduation requirements, we have a lot of credits under our belt. English, again, 4 years. Mathematics, 3 years. 4 years recommended. If you want to go to a UC, always use the recommended as your guideline. Lab science, 2 years, 3 years recommended. E stands for world languages. You must take at least 2 years, 3 years recommended. 1 year of visual performing arts, and 1 year of a college prep elective. But because we have 90 additional electives, you're going to be taking a lot more than your 1 year. This is a chart. You can spend more time kind of studying this. I won't spend a lot of time kind of going over the details, but right here is our graduation requirements, how it compares to our Cal State system, the A to G, the UC A to G, and selective private universities, and how they compare. So you can see that 4 years are preferred for the UC, 4 years recommended for the private as well. So they're very similar in their process of what they look for admission. Registration on February 22nd. So I know Mrs. Dahlbeck has gone into all of the 8th grade classes and kind of talked a little bit about classes and that, you know, what to expect. So you're going to be getting this again. on February 22nd, but we are going to be talking specifics about the classes that you will have for your 9th grade year. So we're not going to go into a lot of detail because there's a lot of different choices out there. So all of these counselors that you met are going to be going into your classrooms and talking specifics. Then 1 week from that time, you will need to turn in your registration form, which is going to look like this. This is a sample of what the registration form will look like. Then in March, starting that week of March 10th through the 15th, we will be meeting one-on-one with each of you to solidify those classes and put them into the computer so that they're ready to go for the fall. So things are happening really fast. So this, again, just a sampling. This is an older version. There are some new classes that are being offered this year, like engineering is going to be one of our new classes, and TV production, and so we'll be getting more information out there, and the updated list will be available to your students when we go to their classrooms. There will be a lot of questions about math and the math course and the math pathway, which is fantastic because we have a math night happening on February 25th. Here in the auditorium at 6:30. So if you have any of those pending math questions, please come to the math night, and that would be a great opportunity to ask further questions. All right, I am going to pass the mic on to my esteemed colleague, Mr. Jackson, Greg Jackson, to talk about some of the requirements with PE and health and some of the more fun activities that we have.
Okay, let's talk about everybody's favorite graduation requirement, PE and health. So, as we get into it, I just want you guys to know that PE and health is a California state requirement. It is not something that we at La Cañada are saying, you must do this to graduate. The state of California is saying this. So you can't come to us and say, I just really don't like playing basketball and soccer and I don't want to do PE, but I'm really into science. Is that okay? It's okay by me. Unfortunately, it's not okay by the state of California. It is a graduation requirement. So everybody must do 2 years of PE. And there are a few different ways that you could actually achieve that PE credit. The majority of students will actually achieve their PE credit during their 9th and 10th grade years. So, as you can see, there are 3 different times during the day that we offer PE classes. The first one I want to talk to you guys about is just our general 9th grade PE class. That's basically like a survey of a bunch of different sports and a bunch of different activities. So, you don't have to be an expert at anything, but you get to try your hand at everything. That is for students who do not decide to go out for sports teams or marching band or color guard or any of those other activities. So that's the more traditional way to go ahead and receive your PE credit. Some of our other ways are through our sports teams. And as you guys can see from the slide up there, we do have a couple of sports teams that meet before school. For example, boys aquatics, which is going to be water polo and swim, they actually meet before school. Our other PE option which meets before school is the marching band. And as you guys may see on there, it says 4 years count as 2 years of PE. How does that work out? Well, let me explain that. So, marching band is a combination of both physical activity and artistic expression. So if you do 1 year of marching band, you get 1 semester worth of PE and 1 semester worth of fine art. Therefore, if you do it all 4 years, you would have received 1 semester of PE each year in order to complete your full 4-semester, 2-year requirement of physical education. And those are both of our 0-period offerings. Then we also have a number of sports that actually are scheduled during students' 6-period classes. And those are sports such as football, baseball, softball, girls aquatics, which is water polo and swim, the cheerleading team, both basketball teams, wrestling team. So those are all teams that are actually scheduled under the 6-period slot in the student schedules. Then we have some teams that are actually after-school sports. And those are sports where a student is going to be scheduled for CIF athletics. So they basically have a 6-period placeholder of CIF athletics, but that's time where they're able to go home or to the IRC to work on their homework, have a snack, before their practices start later in the afternoon. And all of them are great ways to get PE no matter what your interest is and where your passion lies. One thing that I do want to point out is that with the general ninth grade PE option, that is the only one of the PE options that actually includes the health component with it. So if a student takes general PE in the ninth grade, during that PE course, they will receive their health education, which will knock off another one of the California state requirements for graduation. So, the other way to go ahead and get that health credit, if you're not going to do general PE, we do offer another avenue. And that's through an online health course that we actually offer for free to all of our students who are not doing the general ninth grade PE. It is a 6-week online course. It is proctored here on campus. It is not particularly difficult, so it doesn't have to take away from your other academic studies. However, it is something that I would very much so suggest knocking out of the way early on in your academic career. Show of hands, let me see all the kids with last names M through PA. You guys are my kids. Let me see your hands. Lots of hands. Don't make me chase you down, okay? I have 3 seniors right now that are 4 months away from graduation and have not completed their health requirement, okay? I am running after them. I know I look like I'm really fast. I'm not all that fast. Please don't make me chase you, okay? It's really easy to just get out of the way in the ninth grade, then you don't have to worry about it. We won't be running after you, and it won't be anything stopping you from meeting your graduation requirements. And so I also want to introduce some important people that have a heavy hand in the physical education process. The picture over on the left, that's rather dark, is Miss Mary Hazlett, and she is our assistant principal in charge of athletics. And then right in the middle is a woman that you would get to know very well if you're planning on playing sports here. That is our athletic director, Miss Kalb, and she's actually here tonight if she wants to stand up and give you guys a quick wave. So Miss Kalb will be very important for you if you're planning on being on the cheerleading team or playing any sort of sports. There's all sorts of athletic clearances that you need to get through her office, such as physicals and other paperwork like that. Nobody can participate on a sports team or cheerleading without going through the PE clearance office. So make sure that Miss Kalb is your best friend. And then all the way over on the left, we have Nicole Morrison, who's a sports coordinator. However, she is actually transitioning into the classroom, so she's teaching one of our math classes currently. And do want to point out that we do have an athletic information night on April 7th, and that's going to be in the North Gym. We're going to have coaches from all sorts of our sports teams there to put on presentations, talk to you guys, for you guys to go around and talk to some of the different players, find out what the different sports teams are about, and find out if it might be the right fit for you. And then I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about the clubs and the activities here on campus. We have a lot of different clubs, a lot of different activities, the type of things that can meet anybody's interests or needs. Maybe you're really interested in cars. Fantastic. We have a club for you. Maybe you're really interested in animation. Wonderful. Maybe you love cooking. Maybe you love saving the environment. Maybe you're really interested in teaching needy children in Peru through Skype. We have all sorts of clubs that can help you reach your goals no matter what they are. And if you have an interest or you want to do something and we don't have a club that meets that, that's a great opportunity for you to start a brand new club here on campus. And we do have an avenue for you guys to go ahead and do that. One thing that I would warn you about, though, is that just because we have 100 clubs here on campus does not mean that you should be joining 100 clubs, okay? You want to be rather judicious about your time. So my suggestion to you would be try to find between 1 and 3 activities outside the classroom, whether it be clubs or sports or band, that you're really passionate about and you want to explore, especially in the 9th grade. 9th grade is all about the exploration process. It's not about being a polished, finished product yet, and the colleges understand that. So colleges are not going to look at you and say, you know, you joined that club in the 9th grade. Why didn't you stick with that club all the way through? They understand that your interests and your passions are going to develop. The important thing is that you are pursuing something that you're passionate about, and whatever you're pursuing, you're trying to have an impact at that. And a lot of our seniors that are going to talk to you today are going to talk about the impact that they've had here on campus and the impact that you could possibly have in the future. So now it's my very distinguished pleasure to turn everything over to Mr. Brian Ladisi from the La Cañada Flint Ridge Ed Foundation to talk to you guys a little bit about summer school options.
Thank you. Boy, do you have a great team here or what? These guys know stuff. It's amazing. And I know you have a lot to think about, and I'm going to give you one more thing to think about. I'm Brian Landisi. I am the principal of La Cañada Philanthropic Ed's Foundation Summer School, and this is my 6th summer with the program. I started as a teacher, and now I serve as the principal. Each year and each summer, we serve about 300 students from La Cañada and surrounding areas, and one thing that I think really stands out about this program is our great relationship that we have with the district. When your student participates in our summer school program, you're going to find they're prepared for the next level. And I think that's really important because as I'm here tonight, the word that I'm hearing a lot is passion, the beyond, what's next. Summer school is one of those avenues that can help you get to that next spot. So everything we do in our summer school program through the foundation uses La Cañada textbooks, La Cañada curriculum. It's all Common Core aligned. Another great piece of our program is that our teachers really like kids, and they really love summer school. Can you imagine that? Our program is 5 days a week. It's 5 hours a day, and we go for 5 weeks. So that is a lot, but like I said, it's a program that prepares you for the next level here in La Cañada. Our founder, Ginny Dahlbeck, for summer school, has this phrase. She calls summer school our idea lab. And that's really because our teachers use it as an opportunity to be really innovative. So when you come into our classrooms, and one of the great benefits that I have is to be in classrooms every day, and you'll see that our program is really doable. Students are able to get through the program. They're able to really build those critical thinking skills. There's some course offerings that you'll see here and on the website, lcfef.org. And the program offers everything from English to social science, U.S. and world history, government, all the sciences from bio and chem, PE and health, all levels of Spanish. And in particular, one thing that may be of interest to you is the math course of sequence. So we have our LC Math 1, which we'll be offering this summer, which is also /algebra, you'll see listed on the website because it incorporates those skills. Geometry and Algebra 2. We'll also be offering a bridge course for that LC Math 1. It's advanced math topics to help students who are interested in moving ahead or those who need additional help. I think that's something that's really important to think about summer school, is that you're going to get credit for these courses. So it's something you need to think about. If you're really looking to move ahead, it's definitely doable. You'll get credit for that. If you're looking to remediate or fix a grade that may not have been so hot, you can do that through our program as well. I would really highlight the fact that the students that fill out our survey every summer and the parents that are with us, we get high marks. Everyone's really happy with our teachers. They're happy with the program because they know that it prepares kids for the next level. We've assembled a really great team, teachers from this district, from surrounding districts, and like I said, we love summer school and we want to make you love it too. So our website, lcfef.org, has all of the information up there. I'll be around this evening. Deborah Wyrick from the foundation office is also here, so we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. You need to know that during the school year, I'm an assistant principal. I work at Clark Magnet High School in La Crescenta. I've taught at CV. I've been an assistant principal at Glendale High School as well. So I know this area, I know our kids, and I know that our program is really, really going to benefit students. It has, and I hope that you'll consider participating with us this summer or in the future. Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks again for coming tonight. Are you ready for high school? Students, are you excited yet? All right. I wrote out a little something because this part is probably one of my favorite parts of the evening, personally. Small acts of awesome. We believe that small ideas can turn into big change. Whether you want to help your friends, your neighbors, or change the world, every action you take makes a positive impact. When students are successful, they feel proud and everyone benefits through having positive relationships and connections, solid contributions to a school and community, a better educated workforce, better job opportunities, and hope for an exciting future. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored and it gives me great pleasure to stand here before you and admire these 4 extraordinary students who would define the words awesome at La Cañada High School. Whether we get to have you as an incoming, anxious, nervous 9th grader and then flourish into the wonderful young adult you see in front of you, it is a proud moment of us that we get to hear and listen in a little bit about their high school experience over the course of 4 years. So we're very honored to have these 4 amazing students. I'm going to introduce all 4 of them at once, and then we will get a chance to hear their high school experience straight from their life here at Lockingham High School. Please welcome Elizabeth Bromley, Savannah Pell, Riley Owen, and David Yoon. So I'd like to turn the microphone to our first student guest speaker, Elizabeth. She likes to be called Isa Bromley.
Hi everybody, I'm Elizabeth, but I also go by Isa. In 6th grade, I decided to change my name. It's a long story. That was me freshman year. I had red hair and braces. It was my prime, not gonna lie. Okay, so. We need to go back to the presentation. Keep going. Okay, so I was an LC Lion, and I'm a senior here at LCHS. I've lived in La Cañada pretty much my entire life. I live with my 2 parents, and my older brother is a junior at USC, and my little brother's a freshman here. Quick rundown about me. I'm the ASB Vice President, Teens for the Advancement of Children's Hospital Vice President, 2015 Miss LCF Royal Court Princess, member of the Foothill Forest Jump Rope Team. I was a Tournament of Roses Royal Court finalist. I'm a devoted Girl Scout and Girl Scout camp counselor. I actually recognize some of you. I was chosen for the 2015 Youth Citizenship Seminar this past summer, and I'm the president of a team of students who created an app for the student body. In other words, I'm all about extracurriculars. My 2 most common comments from other people are, OMG Elizabeth, you do so much, you're crazy, and oh my God, you have it all. As much as my life is crazy 100% of the time, I love it and I would have it no other way. But I'm not here to tell you that high school is gonna be easy, breezy, beautiful, because it won't. Oftentimes, people won't tell you about the hits, not the hips. They will only describe the highs, but my life has never been the roller coaster that's always going up. The truth is, I never really felt fulfilled. I always felt unhappy, and whenever I thought I could be happy, I'd get tossed back into this pit of uncertainty. I was in a constant state of feeling worthless, so I filled up my time with as many extracurriculars as possible to feel like I had a purpose on this campus and in this world. Simply put, I couldn't really find much within myself, which wasn't really good enough for me. I'm gonna give you the list of the things that I realized about life as a student here at La Cañada High School. Number 1, you have to be your own best friend. When I was a sophomore, someone asked me, Elizabeth, name all the things you love. And I was standing there listing things like my cats, my family, as my friends, until they said, how long do you think you would have gone on until you said yourself? Which totally blew my mind, because I never really loved myself. I mean, I thought I was kind of stupid, I could never get my winged eyeliner right, and I was pretty sure maybe 2 people actually liked me as a person. But now, as a senior in high school, I can guarantee that learning to love yourself is the most rewarding thing that could ever happen to you. It comes with time, but make it one of your goals if you don't already. Celebrate the little things and maybe even buy yourself a cupcake. Number 2, find your purpose and find your balance. It won't happen right away, but you gotta find out how you're gonna balance your academics, your after-school activities, and your social life. Do what makes you happy, and if that means getting super involved, you should get super involved. If that means taking 5 AP classes, then you should take 5 AP classes. Make sacrifices if you have to, but don't forget what's truly important to you. An unbalanced can be balanced. If your life is 20% academics, 20% social, and 60% extracurriculars, that's okay. Everything works out, I know from experience. Number 3, get happy. The thing is, being in high school is a constant struggle between a fear of rejection, a need for acceptance, and a desire to not care about anything at all. And it will be as awful as you make it. Your environment influences you. If you're unhappy, you might want to change your surroundings. Don't be afraid to pack up and move on. If you're unhappy, that's temporary. Don't waste your years on someone who can't appreciate you and your existence. There will be people who think it's cool to hate everyone and everything, but don't dwell on it. Positive thinking is positive living. Whenever I have a bad day, I always tell myself that no matter what happens, tomorrow will be better. You lived through every single bad day you've had, and it hasn't stopped you before. Number 4, do not be afraid to swerve. When I was in 8th grade, I thought I was gonna be the Omega yearbook kid. When I was in 10th grade, I said I would never take an AP class. In September, I said not only would I never cut my hair, but I would never go blonde. I was sure of all those ideas, but I ended up swerving away from all of them. Don't be afraid of changing your mind about anything and everything, because swerving is not moving backwards, you're just avoiding a pothole. Number 5, be the best version of you. The best version of you is the real you, and without you, nothing would be the same. If you feel different, always remember that different isn't wrong, and the best ideas are always new ideas. People thought he was crazy, but Michelangelo painted on a ceiling. Don't worry about messing up. If you fail, you're not a failure, and if you make mistakes, you are not a mistake. Do not try to dwell on everything that goes wrong. Learn from your mishaps, accept the results, reflect, and continue on. People make about 5,000 choices a day, and none of them are wrong. You are the hero of your own story, and you have to embrace your uniqueness. As easy as I can make it sound, it's not. After I came to terms with my anxiety and I was diagnosed with severe depression, sure, my life started to make a bit more sense. I've learned how to channel those things into strengths, but that doesn't mean I still don't have bad days. This past October was the most challenging month of my life, but right now, at least I know it's not going to get much worse than that. You will hear this a lot, but you really have to try to make the most out of high school. Trust me, you will never remember staying up all night studying for that one biology test, but you will remember that basketball game when we beat South Pasadena. High school is casual chaos, and you should get into it. Parents, there's more to life than straight A's and all APs. I didn't study for the SAT or ACT, and I still got great scores. No college wants a strictly academic student. They want someone who's dynamic and well-rounded. Also, mental health days are a totally valid reason to skip a day at school. Sometimes we just need a breath of fresh air. Future freshmen, break the rules, but don't break laws. Always stand back up and take a nap or 5. It's hard to find your place in this world and on campus, but you will, and you will be fine. It is my pleasure to introduce David Yoon. He's in that picture with me. David?
I got it.
Good evening, everyone. So my name's David Yoon. I'm here tonight to talk to you guys about just my high school experience and try to offer some advice to you guys about just how to succeed at this awesome high school we go to. We're a Blue Ribbon school, by the way, in case you didn't know. So I'm a second semester senior now. All of my college apps are turned in, and I can finally give into that notorious senioritis. The whole college admissions process has been really special to me because I've had the opportunity to really reflect on everything I've done here over my past 4 years and just see how this school has really molded me. And so I'm gonna flash back to freshman year. That's me. Yeah, I look terrible. That's bad. Okay. So I remember just being really excited to start high school, as you guys all should be. And because high school is this really unique time, you get to really learn about your strengths and weaknesses, your life goals, colleges maybe you want to go to, or just who you are as a person. And I know I definitely didn't have a sense of these things when I was a freshman, and that kind of really scared me. But just know that you're not alone in that. Most people, when they're a freshman, don't really know what they want to do. Don't let that kind of hold you back from doing stuff. That's what high school's for. It's for you to grow and learn. I mean, I just had to make sure that I made a sincere effort to take advantage of everything high school had to offer. And through all those experiences, I was able to learn a lot about myself, like I really like teaching, and I like helping out other kids in classrooms. I do better in classes that are discussion-based and not just sitting there taking notes and doing lectures. I'm better at math and science, and that my teachers and counselors actually have a lot of great advice for me. So the only difference between me and those kids that think they're too cool for school is, which by the way, no one's too cool for school, don't be that person that thinks you are, is that I actually sought out the opportunities that high school offers and tried to take as much advantage of them as I could. And that's really a huge part of high school. I mean, it's doing things on your own. You can't hold your mom's hand anymore. I mean, you're growing up to be your own person. It's kind of time to take responsibility and do your own thing. And that really leads me to my second point. Awesome. It's just have a positive attitude. And this really applies to all aspects of school because whether you like it or not, you're here for 4 years. So why not try to at least have a great time while you're here? You don't want to be moping around every day and no one wants to talk to that kid that just whines about how they got no sleep last night or how they just don't want to be here. I mean, come on, man, we're all here at school. Let's just be happy together. So if you have a positive attitude about learning and coming to school, you'll find that it actually has a lot of fun to offer, whether that be in sports or extracurriculars or just being with your friends, and that school's actually really extremely stimulating. We have a lot of great classes here that you can really be a part of. And so try to at least be excited about learning or fake it for your teacher's sake. They do better when you pretend to pay attention. So like I've mentioned before, That's not right. Okay, like I've mentioned before, I've been involved in a lot of things at the school. I've played 2 sports, football and baseball. I was in theater. I'm president of the club called Teens for the Advancement of Children's Hospital. I was in another club called Best Buddies, and I'm part of Splash Zone, if you guys know what that is. If you don't, you'll find out very soon. That's not really out of the ordinary here at this high school. Students at La Cañada tend to be really, really involved, and I think that's what makes our school really unique, but it can also put a lot of pressure on individual students because they feel like they have this ideal student model that they really have to live up to. And here at La Cañada High School, it's not just about getting grades, it's about going out and not really changing the world, but you have to at least try, and that's big at La Cañada High School. And all of the extracurricular activities can really take away from your life outside of the classroom, whether that be just sleep or time with your friends and family. So it's really important to learn how to manage your time wisely. Yeah. So personally, I feel that you can never be too involved. That's just my thing. I love doing as much as I can, but it gets difficult because when you're going to school every day and then going straight to sports practice after, not getting home till around 6:30, then having to do hours of homework and a bunch of extracurricular work, and still somehow managing to eat dinner with your family or just catch up with your brother or sister about what's going on in their lives. I mean, it can get really busy. And what I found is that it's just a matter of you being efficient with your time. We've all fallen victim to where we'll get home, we'll be tired, we just want to watch one episode of Netflix, Friends or Breaking Bad or anything like that. And then next thing we know, we're in season 2, and it's a little ridiculous. So we all fall victim to that. Don't feel bad. I've definitely done it more than once. What's important is that you learn to manage your time wisely. So that's all prioritization of what's important. So my schoolwork to me was the most important thing, so I always put that first. And then my family was also very important to me. I tried to put that up top too. And basically it was me making a list of what do I need to do first, and then I would just go through every day, all right, so this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do before I go on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. And so as long as you can really manage your time, that'll help keep you sane throughout high school. And high school is a time when things get pretty insane, so try not to get bogged down by all the stress. Also, don't let your fears or poor time management stop you from challenging yourself. Whether that be joining a club, just taking harder classes. Like I said before, high school is about finding out who you are and challenging yourself academically and socially. You have to realize that school isn't just about getting A's. It's about putting yourself out there, testing your abilities. And I tried to do that when I was signing up for classes. I would always make an ideal schedule, so what I thought I could do to my ability, and then always just try to add an extra AP or honors course in there and kind of stretch my limits and see if I could go above and beyond this year. And this thing I always found year after year was that I had a lot more ability in me than I ever thought I did. So don't ever underestimate yourself. Try to go the extra mile, because whether or not you believe you can or cannot do it, you definitely can do it. Just words of encouragement there. So take classes that are difficult, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, because by doing so, that'll help you mature as a person. And challenging yourself, that's what high school's for. I mean, it's about learning through challenges and overcoming them and being a better person after it. So just some other quick notes. Don't use a roller backpack. They don't work well on stairs. Walk quickly in the hallways. We all hate the person, not hate, but we all don't like the person that walks really slow in the hallway and holds everyone up. Take advantage of your locker. You don't want to be lugging around a 50-pound backpack every day. Don't wear a hat to school. Teachers will make you take it off, and having hat hair is the worst. For all you guys out there, ask a girl to a dance. It's not scary. It's not awkward. Just do it. You'll have a good time. Don't let everyone else's opinion stop you from doing something that you love, because you will regret it. Okay? Don't try to seek other people's approval as much. Get to know your teachers. You might need a letter of recommendation for college one day. Get to know them. It's really important. Get to registration early. The line gets crazy long. Like, it's unbelievable. Get there like 20, 30 minutes early even. And finally, don't worry about being cool in high school. Being cool in high school is like the equivalent of being rich in Monopoly. Like, it does not count for anything. That should be the least of your worries. Do what makes you happy. Hang out with people that you have fun being around and that are positive influences on you. Don't just hang out with people because they're cool. That's a pretty ridiculous reason. And last but not least, just have a great time. High school's kind of that perfect time where you're a teenager still, so you can go out, meet new people, have unforgettable times, and make mistakes, and people say it's all going to be okay. So take advantage of that, because you can only do that for so long. So thank you, guys. I'm going to turn it over to Savannah. She's also a very involved student here at Lockton High School. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? Good? Glad to hear it. Okay, I'm just going to put everything up here. Okay, great. All right, hi, everyone. I want to start off with a little story about when I was a freshman, and it's relevant, I promise. When I was a freshman, I was shopping for one of my friends, Gabby Giancola. I was shopping for her birthday present, and we decided to go to Rite Aid. I know, kind of weird, but we decided to go to Rite Aid and get her makeup. And I had actually never owned makeup in my entire life, so I was very excited. I thought this was the perfect opportunity to get a little mascara of my own, because I wasn't allowed to wear it yet. So I told my dad, like, hey, Dad, you know, I'm out of mascara. And of course, he didn't know, and he was like, all right, I'll pay for it. And I was like, yes. So I got home. I put on my mascara and I went to school on Monday, and I felt so glamorous. I was like, every opportunity I got, I was like flipping my hair and like checking my mascara and making sure everyone saw that I was wearing it, until my friends, or I thought they were my friends, came up to me and told me, you can't wear mascara. That's fake. Makeup is fake and you're not allowed to wear it. Obviously, this wasn't very nice of them to say, and I felt really bad for a couple weeks until I realized, hey, you know what? Wearing mascara made me feel really good about myself. I'm not gonna let these people who I thought were my friends take that away from me. I felt great. I felt beautiful. And that was something I hadn't felt in a while. And I was really excited about it, and they just came and stomped all over it. So if you have friends like that, let them go. They will only drag you down. I promise. Another thing, last year, I was a junior. I was taking Honors French 3. It was hard. Probably the hardest class I've taken here. And it was definitely the hardest class I've taken here. And I was doing really bad in it. I was failing it. Yeah, the F word. Terrible. So I went to my counselor and I was like, hey, I'm failing this class. Is there anything I can do? She's like, I don't know. What we can try to do is try to get you out of the class and put you into a TA period and a teacher's aid period. And I was like, it's kind of weird. Never thought about doing that, but I'll give it a shot. And so I did. I actually went up to the teacher, and I have really horrible social anxiety, so it was really hard for me to do this. And I went up to the teacher and I asked him, hey, Mr. Torres, can I be your TA for second period? And I was totally was expecting no, Savannah. No, I already have a TA. But nope. It was free, and I got it, and it was the best decision I've ever made, because it taught me that I could be powerful, and that I could walk up and I could tell a teacher, hey, I want this, can you give it to me? And he gave it to me. He did, and it was a great opportunity for me to catch up on my classwork, because second period is your longest period, to get what I didn't get done last night, the night before, I'd do it then. To get started on homework, I'd do it then. My grades shot up like a rocket. It was amazing. I'd never experienced that before. I'm a pretty solid like B student, but that semester, last year, straight A's. My parents took me to Outback Steakhouse for dinner. It was that good. Yeah, it was that good. Which brings me to talking to your counselor. If your counselor is there for you, and they all are, I know that for a fact, especially Miss Loxton. If you guys have her, you're very, very, very lucky. She is my counselor, and I love her very much. Don't be afraid to talk to them. They're there for you. Their literal job is you. You are their job. Their job is to help you. And so if you have any trouble, if you're failing a class, you don't feel good about it. If you don't feel good about anything, make sure to go up to them and talk to them. That's their job. They will support you no matter what. And even if your counselor can't help you for whatever reason, go to someone else. Someone in that building will be able to help you, I absolutely promise. Absolutely, 100%. Okay, my thing is theater. That's my thing. 4 straight years, I've been doing theater. It's my thing. And so my advice to all the freshmen, the incoming freshmen, is that if you find your thing, whether it be music or dance or writing or whatever, keep your thing. Don't let the fact that you need to have 2 years of PE or you need to have 3 years of math, let go of that thing. That's your thing. Keep it. Keep it throughout all 4 years, and I promise you won't regret it. That's your thing. Keep your thing. You have the power. This is your 4 years. You only have 4 years here. You might as well make it the best it can be. You have the power to go up to your teachers and to tell them, hey, I'm not doing well in this class. Can you help me? You have the power to go up to your counselor and say, hey, I'm not doing well in this class. Can you help me? I need to get out. I'm having problems at home. I'm having problems at school. You have the power to do that. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't have the power and that you're powerless and you have to take all these classes in this order. You always have the power. It's your choice. Make it the best choice you can. Thank you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Riley Owen.
Thank you, Sienna. What? Can we click through the whole thing? Yeah. Thank you. All right, before I begin, you guys have been sitting for a while, so why don't you all put your hands above your head? Lean to the right. Lean to the left. This is good. My dad said if I could move the crowd, I'm off to a good start. There we go. Well, my name is Riley Owen. As you know, I'm a senior. That's me in the upper left. I was about 90 pounds, 5 foot, and wanted to be an astronaut and an actor. I don't know how that was going to work at the same time, but I thought it would. And now I've put on a few pounds, grown about a foot, and I want to study politics and diplomacy on a naval scholarship at a university. I don't know where at, but I'm still not good looking. I don't know what happened. But the point being is that things change. Every single year of high school is different. You'll have different friends, different classes. You'll be a different person. I myself, when I started, I hated change. I'm a guy who likes rules, who likes constancy, who can know what he expects. But high school is basically the biggest enemy to someone like that. And how you get over that is setting goals. I had a few goals in high school, just for years, specific years and overall, and it got me through everything. Sometimes you'll find or think that you're doing work for absolutely no reason, day after day after day. That's called junior year, but it gets better. But it's so important to set goals because you change, and if you don't have a goal, if you don't have something that you know that you're working for, that you're continuing to, that you're striving to achieve, it's going to be so much harder. So make it easier for yourself and set a goal and share it with other people so that others can help you along the way and press you and help you achieve those goals. And whatever those goals are, it's great to have them, it's great to strive for them. But it's also great, as all three of the other speakers said, to try new things. I'm going to repeat a lot of things because they're totally correct, they're very right. I'm a member of the student government on campus. I play volleyball. I'm in our fantastic choir programs, which I get to later. But we have so many different things on campus that you can do. We have stellar choir and theater programs. We have ceramics. We have computer science. We have a fantastic language department. It's so important that you balance your class schedule with extracurriculars that relieve that academic stress. Because we have these resources at the school for you to do that, so use them. And when you're experimenting and trying to find new things, take that chem class that you don't know if you want to be a scientist. Maybe not honors or AP, but take it. Experiment things and try it out. And who knows, if all else goes bad, there might be a cute boy or girl in that class. So it's not an end all. Or you make a friend. It's a win-win situation, so there's no harm there. And as you challenge your interests, you really do find what you want to do, what you want to become. Through doing ASB or youth and government through the YMCA or all these other things, I realized that science and math were not for me, that I loved English and history through the help of fantastic teachers on campus and my friends and mentors and our amazing counseling department that you've heard from tonight. But challenging your interests is so fantastic in that you learn your weaknesses and you learn about your strengths and you learn where to use them, and that's perhaps one of the most important things about high school. And then lastly, my most important point is to balance your life. You're in school for 6 hours a day, but there's 18 other hours in that day. You need to sleep, so cut those in half. But you've got a lot of time to figure out what you want to do for fun, how you want to balance your classes, family, friends, whatnot. I've been involved in a lot of things, perhaps too many, but that's helped me find what things I don't like. But it's so important that I've found that the more active and busy that I am outside the classroom, my grades improve. I have less time to do my work, less time to figure things out, but I'm working harder and I'm happier with the things I'm doing. If you're not happy, if you don't like what you're doing or what's going on around you, then you're not going to be performing well no matter how hard you try. And that's my last point, to take care of yourself. There's absolutely no reason that you need to do things by yourself. You have an amazing family that's going to support you. You have teachers. You have the administration. You have counseling department. You have friends that, yes, will come and go, but you'll find those one or two that will be there for you all 4 years, and you'll talk to them forever, and you'll be forever grateful for them. At the beginning of this seminar, Mr. Cardinal came up here and said, I promise that when you're walking across the stage, I'm going to know you guys. I'm going to know each and every one of you, and I can attest that he and all the other staff on this campus do that every day. They work so hard to help you find your success, help you find your niche, as Savannah put it, to help you find the things you're good at, and maybe the things that you're not so good at. For me, that's calculus. It's hard. But have fun. Bottom left picture, I just want to explain that a little bit. I did put on a dress with my friends and dance in front of the entire schools for Christmas. But I'm going to remember that any day over a calculus test, like Isa put that. I'm going to remember that any day over a project that I stayed up all night doing. I'm going to remember the friends, the people, the things I did that were just plain stupid, but the things that made me happy. So go through high school being happy and doing what you love, but whatever you do, work your best to achieve it. Thank you so much.
Wow, I have to follow that act. Can we give our students another round of applause? Wasn't that amazing? Thank you, students, so much. And after that stretch, thank you, Riley. So we've reached the part of the program. We have a very special guest that's joined us from the University of Southern California in the admissions department, and we'd like to introduce Maureen Gelberg.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here tonight. I have reviewed applications from La Cañada High School for, I think it's the past 6 or 7 years now, and got to know your community, and it's such a wonderful one. I'm actually live very close to here and get the outlook too, so I see a lot that goes on in this community. And so I always give the disclaimer when I'm talking to families and at La Cañada that if you see me at Trader Joe's down the way and I don't look as glamorous and my toddler's screaming, don't judge, you can come say hi. But I am part of this community, and it is a wonderful one. And I'm here, I realize that the title of the session is, high school and beyond, and I guess I represent one of the options of beyond, one of the many options of beyond. And hopefully I'm here to have you breathe a little sigh of relief and ease the anxiety, because I know beginning of high school, sometimes people ramp up to think, college, I need to think about college right now. And actually, when I was asked to come and speak, I both was excited about the opportunity to speak to incoming 9th graders and parents of incoming 9th graders. And to be honest, I also cringed, because I realized that our process in the college application process sometimes causes that anxiety. And while it's never too early to prepare for college, it's also too early to prepare for college sometimes. What I mean by that is I want you to be educated about what it takes to have college as an option. And one of the slides showed all the different courses you need to take to be eligible for the UCs and the private colleges and everything. And you have a staff of people here, and it's evident tonight, that will help you make those good choices to get to where you want to go. But I don't want you to think coming into 9th grade that you have to make, that every choice you make is a choice towards college. I want you to go and experiment. I want you to go and fail at some things, because by failing, you're gonna learn about something else, and you're gonna find that passion people keep talking about. Someone said, colleges don't expect you to stick with activity all 4 years. We don't. Try something out in 9th grade. Try something out in 10th grade. Try a lot of things out, and then you'll narrow it down, and you'll find that specialization that was talked about. Go and explore. That's your job right now as a high school student, is to explore. You're going to be guided by those principals. You're going to be guided by all those people here to make good choices, to make sure that college is an option at the end, or whichever path you choose is that option. But don't make it the only choices that you make are for college. It's really the journey, not the destination. So what do we look for in college then? What we've looked for is the same that we've looked at for ages. College admissions hasn't really changed that much. We look at a student's grades. We look at a student's curriculum. Make sure they're taking a college prep curriculum, which you're automatically doing here. We look to make sure that students have engaged themselves outside the classroom, have become part of the community, either at the high school or beyond the high school, however they express themselves in that way. Because we want them to come to the university and become good students and graduate, and we want students to come and be part of our community. And so that simply boils down to what we're looking at. I think what's changed in a lot of years is the anxiety around college admissions. And you're actually at an interesting point in that the colleges now are beginning to really recognize and respond to that anxiety and are starting to change how we value different things. Do we need to see students stacking AP classes and taking 8 and 9 AP classes? No, we know that that's causing you guys to have sleepless nights and not eating with your family and not being able to enjoy going outdoors and being with your friends and things like that. We're realizing that some of what we look at may not be ending up with the best values in the students that we're trying to recruit to our universities. So know that we have this kind of sanity. We have a sane way of looking at this. You have really wonderful people in the college admissions field that want the best for students. And what we want you to do is be a kid and explore while preparing for that college. And I hope that makes sense and I hope that sinks in. And it's hard to kind of think about that when you hear that, like I said, somebody else is taking AP Bio and AP English and AP this, and should I be too? Maybe, or maybe not. You're going to take the toughest curriculum that you can take in classes you enjoy while still getting A's and B's. That should really be your mantra. Can I get A's and B's in these classes? Do I like these classes? Do I want to go and take the advanced classes? If so, great. If you don't like that class and you don't think you're going to do well in it, maybe the AP isn't for you. Don't feel the need to stack things just for the college resume. You're going to want to do things that you enjoy, and that's when your essay pops out at us in the college application process. When you start talking about things that you love and that you've experienced, whether it's an internship or a research project or being on the football team, that's when you start popping. We talk about it as authenticity in the college application process. When we hear that authentic voice, that authentic excitement for something, we get excited and we love that. And you're not going to be able to get that authentic voice and have that excitement when you think you're doing something formulaic, when you think you're following a good formula to get somewhere. So explore, enjoy, challenge yourself, absolutely challenge yourself, but don't overextend yourself. What I've heard tonight is balance and passion. You need to have a balanced life and you need to follow your passions, and I think those are absolutely true, and I heard that over and over again. So balanced life and passion, and just remember, it's the journey. Think about the multiple opportunities you have when you graduate, and I think your guys are going to be okay. You're in a really, really good spot, and they're going to take care of you. I've seen them do it year after year, and I love reading the applications from La Cañada, so they will continue, I'm sure. Good luck, enjoy high school, and thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, everyone, so much. Many minutes ago, students, I asked you to regard, in essence, 3 things: information about academics and registration, concepts about fun and the social emotional experience of high school, and then start thinking about those 2 as it regards that 3rd post-secondary possible college opportunities. So, let's see show of hands. One of the counselors going into your 8th grade English class. Be brave. What? Honestly? You're just being shy. No one knows what date the counselors are going in? I'll give you a hint. It's February. Thank you, parents. Bravo, parents. Yes, on the 22nd. And then when are you going to have your one-on-one registration appointment? Rhymes with Arch. March, good. When? Yes, well done. Good job, parents. Nicely done. Kids, come on now. You're about to go to high school, all right? Friends and colleagues, why don't we scoot our chairs forward a little bit? We're going to do some question and answer. We've got another microphone, Miss Malgin. We're here for you, kids. Parents, we're here for your students. And we're here to help guide you, too, through this journey. And we anticipate that the information that we've had, while perhaps overwhelming, never intended to be so, brought questions that you would wish us to respond to. And we're going to pass yonder microphone around and hear what you have to say. I'll try to do my best to repeat the question so we can hear, because it's sometimes, especially if we're hearing from our friends in the balconies, you may not be able to hear it down below. What say you? Any questions? Lovely. Good night, everyone. Yes, ma'am, please. So the question was, do our students know what the beyond is yet? And so we'll pass the microphone around here.
Unfortunately, I do not know yet. I did apply to SC, though. Go Trojans.
I'm going to be studying politics and diplomacy on a Naval ROTC scholarship. I want to become a JAG officer and join the Foreign Service.
I have no clue what I want to do at all. So I'm going to PCC for 2 years until I figure out what I want to do.
I'm going to be studying psychology and social work, and then get a master's in education, so hopefully I'll be back as a counselor or a social worker.
And just to clarify, I was hoping to be the associate principal of a high-performing California high school. So students have heart, your dreams can come true. What say you? What questions do you have, please? Yes, ma'am, thank you. The question is, how much control does an individual have over what classes are taken and when?
Well, obviously, there's that situation where it's like you should take pre-calculus before calculus. Obviously, there's stuff like that. So, but then there's also like courses that you can kind of choose to take. Like you can take sports med. I mean, when you want, if you see that to be your passion. We have a lot of great ROP classes here at Locking High School that really offer the opportunity to explore kind of what you may want to specialize in. And as far as like strictness of just like you have to take this class this year, this class this year, I mean, there are certain courses like English where, yeah, you should be taking an English class this year, but there's also a lot of choices within that selection. Like you can take AP Language Comp or just regular English, or in history, for example, you can take AP Euro or World History. And our school does a really good job of offering a lot of options to kind of, for you to kind of make your schedule unique to you and to what fits you best.
So I think that was probably a misunderstanding, and I apologize. It's what choice do you have within the day? Is that the idea? So do you have a choice like, can I take chemistry second period? Counselors, do you want to respond to that?
There's some flexibility, but it is somewhat limited. I mean, you have to keep in mind that a lot of students are taking classes that are only offered at very specific times. For example, if you're going to be a member of ASB, that's one very specific period. Perhaps you want to do French 4. That's a very specific period. So, classes like English or math or science classes that are very widely taken by many students are offered throughout the day, and there's some flexibility in those. But many times your schedule is going to be driven by what type of specialty classes you're taking, if you're playing on a sports team, if you're in the choir or the band. So that's what's kind of driving your schedule, and the rest of your core classes, the English, the math, the science that are widely taken, kind of fill in those other spots. We do try and put you guys in the best situation to succeed. For example, let's say we know that you're going to be missing your 5th period class sometimes because you're on a sports team and you guys are going to be going away to play games. We're going to try our best not to give you AP Calculus 5th period, because that might not be the best class for you to miss sometimes. So we'll do everything we can to set up your schedule in a way that's going to set you up for success.
Additional questions? Yes, ma'am.
So, look, there are definitely deadlines in terms of when you're allowed to switch and how it's going to affect your grade. And there's varied deadlines through there. So there are deadlines where if you're in the class in the first couple weeks, you realize it's not the best situation for you. There are ways to get out of there and basically have it be a free pass where you're getting out of there and it doesn't follow you at all. Whether that's leveling down from an AP class to a college prep level class, or perhaps deciding that you didn't want to go on to a fourth year of a language and you'd rather take an art class or be a TA or something like that. So there are ways to move down. And then there is a deadline that's a few weeks beyond that deadline where you can still move, but now you would have to actually withdraw from the class that you're currently in and take a W in that class in order to go into a new class. So we really, strongly suggest that you're very mindful when you are picking your class options and that you really use those first few weeks of school to, feel out the teacher, feel out the curriculum, look through the syllabus and decide, is this really the right place for me? And, come and talk to us. If you get in there and it's the very first day of class and you're like, oh my God, what did I just get into? Come see us and talk to us about that. And we'll talk about, how much time we have to see if it's really the right place and what options we have to go ahead and make a move. And all the deadlines in terms of the add and drop deadlines are very, very clearly articulated, both on the calendar and the website, as well as the quick guide, which everybody will get during the registration process.
We appreciate the hand there. Good job, bud. The outstanding question is, do colleges look for people that are well-rounded, or what was the second part again? Specialize in certain things.
I think the answer is both. It's going to depend on the college that you're going to be applying to. And really, we look for both. We're really impressed by students who are focused on exactly what they want to do because some students know that and they show that through their activities and their coursework. And then other students we're really impressed with because they are so well-rounded, because they have interests in a lot of different fields and they're multifaceted, and we need both type of student at a university. So I think you should feel comfortable following the path that makes the most sense to you.
Yes, right down in front, please. The question is, how often do the counselors meet with the students to discuss a variety of issues, like, for instance, college planning?
Thank you. That's a great question. So we're available anytime. Our doors are always open. Before school break, lunch, after school. Students can walk in and see us. If we have someone in our office, we have these nice clipboards out in the front. You can sign your name in. We try to be available at all times with our doors open. We just want students walking down from class during the day. We try to utilize the openness of the breaks to walk in. Outside of that, we do schedule appointments as needed, so we do a lot of, I guess, a curriculum, if a better word to use on that, is we go out and we do presentations, we do evening presentations, we do classroom presentations in each grade level. We're doing more and more emphasis on providing information on A through G requirements, information about the college process, meeting graduation requirements, also it can count for college admissions, things like that. So we do a lot of going to the classroom, or you walk in and it's based on student need, and then we collectively go out and disseminate information that's needed.
Yeah, I was really into the college process. I thought it was really, really cool. So I went to Miss Zoe all the time. I talked to her probably like twice a week for 4 weeks. It was crazy, but honestly, all the counselors just do such a great job. And when I couldn't meet with Miss Zoe, I could talk to any of the other teachers or counselors. It was great.
I think generally speaking, we have a goal with our reorganized counseling department, 9 through 12, to try and increase the number of contact opportunities we have with students. And so while right at the start of your 9th grade year, the counselors will be certainly available to you, we're also then supporting our rising seniors who are engaging in the college application process, which these fine folks have just finished in varying degrees. Yes, please. The questions for our 4 seniors is, what degree did they take summer school, And was there a particular summer where they did that?
So I actually took summer school going into my 9th grade year. I took biology. I took it going into my 10th grade year and my 11th grade year, yeah. And then this past summer I actually took a college like prep program where I stayed at UCLA, sorry, and took courses there. But summer school for me was just a matter of freeing up a slot so I could take an elective or take a class that I thought I'd be really interested in and something I really wanted to explore further. So summer school for me was that tool to just get a class out of the way, and then so I could take either theater or photography or sociology. And I think summer school is really useful for that. I should definitely be taken advantage of. I can't speak to Locking High School summer school specifically. I did it at Hillside. That's kind of like the cheater's way out, but.
Well, good thing I can. So I took PE right after 8th grade, because, you know, the pesky PE requirement, right? So I knocked off one of my years before high school even started. And then I took summer school physics right after 10th grade. And that was one of the best courses I've ever taken. The class sizes were very small. It is a long time, but you learn so much. Teachers are so patient. They have great equipment, great class resources. By far, one of the best classes I've taken in all of high school even. So I took that after 10th grade. I would not recommend taking summer school after 11th grade. So you can find things and programs over the summer that you can put on your college apps that you can show that you're actively pursuing and showing your interests. That's when you know what you're doing, and you can also pursue and act on that.
So I took the non-traditional route, kind of like David, where I took online summer school. So my freshman and sophomore year, I took French 1 and 2, and then between sophomore and junior year, I took French 3 online with Laurel Springs. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I had a really busy summer with camps and things, so it was really cool to be on my own schedule and be able to take it whenever I wanted. However, you need to make sure that you do it because you still have a teacher, you still have a bunch of course load. It's crazy, but ultimately I really enjoyed having online. And then after 11th grade, I also took GovEcon, which was really, really cool. However, it's divided up into 2 semesters, so my entire summer was summer school. But it was nice, and I liked it, so it was good.
Yes, sir. Or the administration. Thank you. It was a reference to one of our comments by one of our students about the importance in her experience of taking a mental health day. And so I think the request is to hear from the various members of the panel about, you know, kind of their perspective on the utility and the effectiveness of that. Isa, did you want to, I don't remember if it was your comment, I think it may have been, if you wanted to return to it, or counselors or anyone want to speak to that?
Mental health day for me was pretty much when I was just feeling really anxious about school, really anxious about a lot of other things going on in my life. Like how I said, I have a bunch of extracurriculars. There were days where I felt super, super overwhelmed, like anxiety, depression, everything. So taking a mental health day for me isn't often, but it was one of the kind of an agreement that I made with my mom, just saying, hey, I'm gonna need some days to just take a break because high school is your life, and sometimes it's just overwhelming.
Thank you, students. Just to add to that, you know, as counselors, we want a very special word we want you to understand and walk away with is balance. And we appreciate when students are honest, and we really encourage students and parents to be self-reflective and to know where you're at all the time and to look out for yourself. And the empowerment that the students talked about earlier, that it's okay, just talk to someone, let us know. So oftentimes we'll see students, we encourage them if they're fatigued, exhausted, keeping up with the demands of academics, extracurricular, and all the great things that you've heard tonight, it's okay. It's okay to stop for a minute and take a breath. And that would be sort of my thought in expressing a mental health day. It happens to staff too, and for students, and we have to keep ourselves monitored, and so that we can produce good quality while we're here. And if you need to take a day here and there without any sort of disruption in the long term, it's okay. And we have your support. We have our support, and that's important.
And I just want to be clear that a mental health day is when you've been working hard and you really reach that breaking point and you need to take that break. Mental health day is not because Coachella tickets go on sale today.
And we have seen that, by the way.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on that a little bit. The counselors, they're not just for college and they're not just for school. I think a lot of students misinterpret that. I did for the first 2 years of high school, but they're trained in helping you and how you feel and how you can fix your problems. They're really good at that. Mr. Jackson was I got a new counselor this year, but something happened this year, and he was one of the most supportive people who was there for me when I needed someone, and I barely knew him at the time. And he was fantastic. This counseling staff is always here for you, and there's resources at the school that you can find help from. Now, as to a mental health day, that wouldn't work in my house. My mom says if you're breathing and your eyes are open, you can go to school. But I will say that it's not like elementary school or middle school anymore. Your course load does stack up fast, and it gets you even more stressed out. If you take that day to get a break, your next 3 are going to be even more stressful. So just be careful, and you have to find that right balance.
Okay. So one thing I found this year is that the teachers want to hear about it too. So if you're getting to a point where you need a mental health day, I'd reach out to a teacher and say, this student came by to see me, and they said, I had no idea. She didn't tell me, or he didn't say anything. Absolutely, he can have a couple more days. They want to hear it. So if I've learned anything this year, and I was a former teacher in the district at the elementary level, but it's so true, and I've learned it, and that's one thing that I would like to stress too, is talk to your teachers, and if you need us to coach you through that, we can do that. But they want to hear it, and they appreciate knowing, okay, it's too much right now. I need a weekend, so.
So that the entirety of the high school counseling staff, as well as Ms. Dahlbeck and Brasha, don't have to take mental health days, we have time for 1 or 2 more questions. In the back, please, yes. If I heard you correctly, your question was, how quickly do high school classes fill up, and whether there are any particularly that fill up faster than others?
I've never had any problem getting the classes that I want, because if a lot of people do sign up for classes, they'll just open more. It's one of those things where if over 60 people sign up for sports med, they're going to open more classes. Everyone pretty much gets what they want.
I don't want to provide a long answer to this, but I happen to be the lucky fellow that gets an opportunity to work closely with the counselors and help build the master schedule of classes. And so very much what Isa said, we look at the course enrollments that you all, the 8th graders, will make with your counselors and your folks. But to link back to a couple of the other questions, particularly as it regards what about changing schedules or when will courses be offered, one of the reasons why we find it difficult to offer a really kind of a limitless or unmonitored switching of classes is we do have limited resources. We do have a teaching staff. And so when you all tell us you want to take this particular class and we offer it and then everyone changes their mind, there isn't another set of classes typically, in the same frequency to turn to. So that's why it's a very delicate balance, and we want you to very much speak to your counselor when you're having hard times, because we can adjust it. Okay? So maybe our last 1 or 2, I see 2 hands here. We'll go, if you wouldn't mind, sir, we'll go student, and then you'll close us out, please. The supposition was if middle school is a preparation for high school and therefore high school is a preparation for college, are there any specific things that colleges would wish you to do in order to be ready for it from the viewpoint of an 8th grader?
I'll just speak to that really quick. Maybe our college admissions officer has more to say on that. But when I was doing my college application process, I realized that working really hard and being a cookie cutter applicant didn't work, and that wouldn't have worked for a lot of people. But I had pursued the things that I was interested in. I did what I wanted. So when it came around to writing the essays about an impactful experience or something that changed me, I could. So all you can do is just doing what you love and doing what you find interesting that challenges yourself. There's not one end-all formula that'll get you into Princeton or Harvard or USC, wherever you want to go. I know, I want to go there too. But you just have to be you, and something will work out, even if it's not the school you thought it would be at first.
I think he said it beautifully. Every year I get parents mainly who call me, and they're parents of 7th graders, 8th graders, and they're saying, what should I do? What should I do for my child? What courses should they be taking? And I never answer them. I turn it right back around and I said, I don't know. What is your child like? I don't know your child. I don't know who they are. I don't know their interests. I don't know their level of how they can challenge themselves. You need to go back and figure that out because you know your child. So I think exactly as he said, you need to find out what you love to do and pursue it. If it's cheerleading, go on the cheer squad, and maybe you're there a couple years and then you take a leadership position. We like to see that students start to explore in 9th and 10th grade and narrow it down by 12th grade, maybe take some leadership, take some responsibility, some initiative. You're in a great spot where there's going to be lots of ideas floating around you. You're going to hear of opportunities. I know JPL's right there. I know students go over there and there's some great internships and opportunities there. I know that Girl Scouts is going to provide it. I know National Charity League. I know all these things that are around that this community is involved in, and that's going to provide those sparks for you that you're going to find. So we want you to, again, challenge yourself in your curriculum, college prep curriculum, as challenging as you can do while getting those A's and B's in courses you feel like you really love, and pursue what you want to do, and I think you're going to be on the right path. Go to bed. Get sleep. You need sleep.
Sir, we welcome the opportunity for you to close this out this evening. The topic was a question about the assessments that students take for college entrance. The SAT versus the ACT, is one preferred over the other, and roughly a timeline of when that should happen. Students, counselors, that's for you.
Well, okay. As to a timeline, I would say not to start doing anything until at least the end of sophomore year. Kids who have been taking SAT and ACT prep classes since like 8th grade, that's insane because you haven't even learned half of that stuff yet. You learn all of that in your English and math classes, and you keep getting better and better without spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on some class from an outside company. It helps, yes, but if you just go through the academic pathway naturally, you'll learn what you need to at the right rate, at the right time, and if you need some additional help, yeah, you can do it. But it's so much easier for the student, emotionally and academically, if you just wait until the right time, and I'd say that's right after your sophomore, start of your junior year, when you're starting to think about the beyond college.
Can we do a quick survey? Did any of you take any of the tests, either SAT or ACT, just to see?
I took the ACT.
ACT.
SAT. I took both. I set whichever one I did better on.
And I'll tell you, I meet with the college admissions reps from colleges all across the country. They don't care if it's the SAT or the ACT. It makes no difference to them. They'll accept either one exactly the same. With the changes that have now taken place with the SAT, it's much more similar to the ACT than it used to be. So there's not a huge difference in terms of the knowledge that's required for each of the tests. So it's really whichever one you feel most comfortable with. Take some of the practice tests, take some prep courses, find out whichever test, whichever format you're most comfortable with. That's really the most important thing. In terms of timeline, my suggestion would be the time that you should really be looking at taking the SAT and the ACT is the end of your junior year and the summer between junior year and senior year. And the reason is because with the changes to the SAT, both tests are now curricular knowledge tests. So the longer that you have in high school to go through your classes and develop your knowledge and your skills, the more apt you are to be prepared for the SAT and the ACT. So yes, challenge yourself, take it early, take it in the 10th grade, see how you do, see what areas you need to improve in, see where you should, focus your study on. But in terms of when should be your strongest desire to really take the test and really move forward for the college process should really be the end of your 11th grade year. Use that time to build from the curriculum, to build your knowledge, to give you the best opportunity to be successful on those tests.
Maybe Savannah and David and others can help us with this. We're winding up our evening right now, and we happen to be in our newly renovated theater. And I'm reminded that we all are players of parts up here. I couldn't thank Dr. Gold and his staff enough for getting the outreach and filling the house as he did, our amazing counselors for coming, our friends from the Educational Foundation for giving evening and being here and giving such great advice to our community. Thank you so much for university representation, and above, of course, all, our extraordinary students. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming. We're going to thank you for coming, and we're going to get ready for work tomorrow. We'll be around for just a little bit if you have a couple more individual questions. Thank you. Do you want to say anything about?
If you have your surveys, please drop it off. Where? Counselors will be at the back door. On the stage, if you have your surveys. Thank you.